thing. As soon as you go live, I'll just check it for audio.
It says we're live. Hey there, everybody. Let's see if we've got audio. We need some viewers first. This is our third attempt. Okay. America Marcy's got her fingers crossed emoji. Is there audio? Do we have it?
Hey, I hear stuff.
Okay.
I hear audio.
Nice. That's
yeah.
The restart.
Yeah, we did it, Joe. We did it.
We took advice from a viewer, and it worked.
Yeah. So, anyways, what's up, America? Just hanging out. Joe been in America, hanging out.
That's it. All right. Good to have you here. We're having a good Saturday morning.
Yeah. All right. Hey,
it's always a little bit messy, rolling out of bed.
You got yourself a good night's sleep. I hope you're alive. You got air in your lungs. You're still here. You might be able to hold a paintbrush. It's probably a beautiful day. It's nice to have you.
We got the rainiest weather ever in Arizona. I think a hurricane's blowing it in. You got snow in LA. I mean, what is the world coming to?
It's crazy. It's next thing you know, there's gonna be volcanoes or something. I don't know, man.
We got that too. I live on one. I live right by one.
Dude, there was an earthquake in northern Arizona a while ago. That was weird. Remember that? It was like a 5.0.
There was one back in 2017, I think, 2016, something close to that. We had and I felt it in my house. I was like, what?
Yeah, man, that weirded out.
Yeah, we never experienced it, so we didn't know what to make of it. Like, is our house failing or something?
Yeah. Third time's a charm, Jonathan. You guessed it. That is
the
case. And why is the third time, Joe? Why is the third time a charm? What is it about failing twice that makes thrice more likely to be a success?
I don't have the answer to that, but I have a great expression with my eyebrows that not many people can make.
I am
that very says I care.
Very interested in what you're saying. This is the dad look. This is the look our dad always gave us.
Yeah. It's famous. It's famous in our house.
This one where the eyebrows go up like this.
Yeah.
This is how you know you're about to hear something you don't want to hear.
And the throat clear. A little bit of it. Then you know it's coming.
Well, Benjamin, that's because you have emotional problems. You're gonna have to get over it.
If you ever wondered why we're the way we are, there is a history to it.
That's it. Because the dude was looking at us with that face all the time.
No, that just was one tiny ingredient. That was just the one little ingredient in the recipe.
I kid. All right, guys. So we've thinned the herd. We've successfully thinned the herd. I want to welcome. This is like Fight Club, you know what I mean? Like, where anybody can walk up to the door and say, "Hey, I heard you guys got a Fight Club." No, go home.
Oh man!
Right? Only those who stay. Only those who navigate to the third live stream.
Totally, man. Well, at least the URL doesn't change.
We don't need those people that just waltz down the street and then say, "Hey, check it out. There's a live stream about nothing. Let me just join that."
There's no audio. There's a live stream.
People that want to be a part of a live stream about nothing so bad.
Yeah.
They turn that corner to follow us to the second one, and then they
now we've got a club
again to follow us to the third.
Now we've got a really devoted, tight club. It's good. Yeah.
This is the speakeasy of live streams.
Yeah, nice. I like that speakeasy. Well, speakeasies like, isn't that a bar type place?
Prohibition, when alcohol was illegal, there were all these like underground places where.
Really? That's the speak.
If you're in the know, you could go get some booze, But
and that's called
they go to prison if they got discovered. So there's these secret underground places to go drink alcohol.
Well, I actually didn't know the definition of speakeasy. I thought it was just like another word for a jazzy bar or something.
Right? Yeah. No,
it's just a hangout.
It's called speakeasy. So
that's cool.
This is the speakeasy of painting sessions, and like a speakeasy, it's going to be really.
It's gonna be great. Yeah, it's gonna be good. We got a canvas ready for ideas.
Yeah. So because you guys are the early ones, I want to hear what you guys have been up to this week. All right. So like Joe's been in his world, I've been in my world. We know about it. We've talked about it, and it didn't provoke particularly any specific painting ideas. So if you take 10,
Yeah,
30
that's a
seconds,
good
whatever, tell us about your week. Stir it up here. What's on your mind?
one. Yeah, that'd be fun.
I was in the stock market. I watched my stocks go down. That was
Did
a
you?
bummer. I don't
That
want
was
to
a
paint
bummer.
that. I don't want to paint that.
You know, this is what stops me. This is what stops me from investing a lot. Is that I don't like the roller coaster. I'd rather just be poor than to be
Yeah.
wealthy riding a roller coaster.
You gotta like the ride. You gotta like the
Yeah.
ride.
Yeah. But I'm not poor. I'm not trying to say I'm poor. I mean, we got people tuning in from much lower income parts of the world. So please forgive me if that sounds out of place. Man.
Yeah,
I'm not,
yeah. Well, it's very human to be averse to loss. Losing sucks. You know.
It does, yeah. And it doesn't matter what you have. Hey, here's a philosophical concept we could try to get into paint. Doesn't matter how much you have, it's the losing that you feel. It doesn't matter what the temperature of the water is, the change is what you feel.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I want to ask the 13,000 people in this room real quick what they think about
I like how
this concept. We have road rage in the world because people are taking spots, and then the person who gets mad believes that spot. There's something we talked about, Joe. The spot that was taken, they get mad about it. Well, why? Because the person thinks that spot was theirs. They had this illusion that it belongs to them. And so when someone else takes that spot, you have this sense of loss. You know?
Agree or disagree? Does everybody agree or disagree? I think that's a good analysis, but let's see if there's any other perspectives.
Yeah, well, just like the pain of losing, just like the pain of losing shows up all over the place. It's even like what causes road rage.
I always have to kind of check myself when I'm in that, and I'm like, you know what? I am feeling entitled. I am feeling entitled to what I just didn't get, and was it ever mine? Am I rightfully entitled here? It's a hard question to be honest about.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Oh man, America's got a dog in heat, so that's gross. It's gross what she typed right after that.
Let's not.
I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Let's leave that chat on. Let's leave that in text only. Let's not start the conversation.
Really gross things here.
Oh man, disgusting. Okay, well that's life.
Tell you what, we're not going to paint today is a dog in heat.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. Let's not do that. All right.
Hey, Gail Lucas is here from France, Joe.
Nice.
Hey, France is cool.
We got to.
Parlez-vous français, Joe? Parlez-vous français?
What's the meaning of that? How do you say that again?
Parlez-vous français?
All right, I'm ready for the translation.
Parlez-vous?
Sounds right. Sounds good to me.
I don't know, Gail. How did I do? Tell me.
How did you do? Somebody asked how to paint metal. Do you want a quick demo on metal? I saw that in my email. Someone says glass. Yeah, the glassy. Look, here, let's do something glassy. It'll be fun. Because we got no other suggestions. We chased away all the good suggestions with our two failed live streams this morning.
Yeah, that's true. There were some people. I think on live stream number 2, there were some really good ideas coming in.
There were people ready. They were ready. They were like, I'm going to engage in this one.
How about you do, and then like just rainbows and magic erupted from the text.
Yeah. And then they were like, I just lost
lightning
struck of my life.
God itself came and blessed them with divine inspiration. And then we left the chat.
And then we were like, see ya.
Peace.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, all right. Here's the thing. Chew on this. I got one from Picasso for you guys. You ready for some Picasso? This is an art show. Let's talk about Picasso. That guy does art.
Oh, you actually know something about Picasso?
Art. Yeah, I heard a quote.
Okay.
That I like.
All right. That's cool.
All right. Here's a quote, guys. Inspiration exists, but it must find you working.
What?
Inspiration exists, but it must find you working.
Okay. Right, I didn't hear the but it must find you.
So Right now, we're sitting around, we're waiting for inspiration. All right.
Yeah.
Just waiting for inspiration. Where's the inspiration?
Where's
Gotta
the
get motive. Where
inspiration?
is it? Right. You're just sitting around waiting. That is not what would, that's not what Picasso is recommending here. He's recommending get to work. And then the
Ah,
inspiration emerges from the working person's brush, you know?
ah, yeah. I can see that. I think
It's like
I,
uncover it by starting to move. It was always there,
yeah.
you know?
Oh, okay. You know, I think Picasso was a little bit. He comes across to me a little bit on the arrogant side, a little bit,
Oh yeah,
which
I heard
I
he's a real jerk. I heard he's a real jerk. I heard he's an A word, Joe. I heard he's the A word.
Did you?
Yeah.
I wasn't going to go that far.
Right before the show, I was like, well, I'm gonna talk about this quote. So I looked up the quote, and then like Google right away has all this commentary on Reddit about, yeah, cool quote, but he's an A word.
Well, so that's funny. That's funny
Yeah.
because I'm
like the
just
first
basing it
thing.
on his quotes. I'm only basing my perception on his quotes because they sound a little bit self-centered. Like the way I perceive it is the way it is. It kind of sounds like that syndrome.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
to be an artist is kind of a self-centered thing, right?
Yeah. It does. Well, it's very introspective. You're digging deep, so it's a tricky balance to not become self-centered in the process of being in touch with your own deep feelings. Because it's kind of hard to stay aware of the other people in the room when you're digging deep to pull out your
Yeah.
guts on canvas.
Like how do you
You
be the
know,
conduit for the creativity and the inspiration while at the same time not
yeah,
drifting into blind self preoccupation, you know?
yeah,
Yeah,
right. Okay. Well,
oh my
I was
gosh,
thinking,
Jonathan Scott, I'm sorry, dude. YouTube did you dirty. They fit about 12 advertisements in by the time the
dude,
third stream kicked up.
what? That's why
So
people aren't coming in. They're just tired of being abused.
Mural Joe
I'm
doing his
sorry
part
about
to
that.
sell ads here on behalf
What?
of
Let's do this.
Lord
Hang
Google.
on. You know what we're gonna do because you said that? I'm gonna see if I can go to the.
Disable ads.
That's it. That's what I'm gonna do. I hate that.
Disabling those ads, man.
Man, come on.
You can take those ads.
English, recording, live
Shove it.
stream. Man, no, I don't know if I can change it now that this streams. Yeah, man, I would do that right now. I would just disable those dumb old ads. It's automated, it just comes up the way it was automatically saved.
Yeah, well, we've had enough tech.
Oh, here we go. Monetization. No, we're gonna get it. Here, look, I'm doing it right now. Off. It is now clicked off.
Okay.
Done. You're welcome.
Screw those ads. You're welcome.
I hate ads. Can't stand those things.
Yeah.
I always think that YouTube's gonna have good judgment, but they're relentless.
No.
It's only gotten worse over time.
No, dude. Marketers, advertisers do not have good judgment. They have only hunger. You know?
Yeah.
They voracious appetite.
That's it. That's it. It's like everything is done just because you can, not because you should. That's the world we live in. It's like it's that should this be done? It's not even asked anymore.
Well, now you've tapped into something interesting.
Well, now there we go. Let's talk about it.
That's what I was trying to explain to you yesterday. The universe is happening in all ways, right?
Okay.
It's exploding out in every direction, and all events are occurring. Okay. All colors of the spectrum.
Is that like that movie, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once?
That runs with the theme. Yeah, that movie.
Does it? Because I didn't see it. We talked about it. I didn't see it.
The movie doesn't prove any points. The movie just dwells in the excitement of that possibility. But anyways, my point is that everything is happening, and you just said something about it should happen.
Yeah. I was saying, we're not asking the question, should we anymore?
We're so busy thinking about what we can do. We didn't think we should.
Yeah.
The universe is like that, man. Everything is happening all the time. And I'm not sure that the things that like happen in the universe are what should happen, or they're just the things that can happen.
Yeah,
That's
but
that.
that doesn't make it any less annoying when people behave like the universe. Like just because the universe is random doesn't mean we have to be.
Is the universe manifesting because it can or because it should?
I don't know. I don't know. I just know that I don't like it when people just leave out, like, we know what we like, we know what we want to be, we know what we admire, what inspires, we know those things.
Yeah.
So why take stuff that we know we all appreciate and just trash it? I hate that. I went off camera so I could get my white paint. I need the white paint.
He had to go off camera. He was so mad. He went off camera, muted his mic.
I got to get out of here.
Said the A word like 3 times and came right back.
I appreciate the theoretical concepts about the universe and all, but I think, like, you can convince yourself that reality isn't real, that nothing's real and everything's a simulation and blah blah blah. You can convince yourself that all that's true, but consequence doesn't go away. It's like consequence still exists. And the truth is, you care. Don't pretend like you don't care. You actually do care. When you get hurt, you want it to go away. You want the hurt to end. And so, like, when you just don't even ask that question, should it be done? You're just hurting the world. You're just contributing to the hurt and not doing your part.
A lot of my energy is spent, whether this is wise or not, I don't know. But a lot of my energy is spent watching things occur and then trying to decide in my mind whether or not they should, or if they just do.
Should this happen? And then if you decide that it shouldn't
do, and then I should just accept it, right?
Do you ever come to the conclusion that this should not be happening?
That's a difficult conclusion to make because
right.
The presupposition is that I'm qualified to make that decision, which I don't feel I am.
Well, then, okay, but you said you spend time asking the question. Well, if the answer is always the same, then wouldn't you just stop asking the question?
To be a human being. You've nailed it, Joe. You've nailed it. Why can't we just stop wondering?
Okay. All right. I see where you're going. Yeah, that makes sense. I relate. I relate to that. I'm going to see if I can.
Check this out, Joe. Here's a grounded statement. Jet Set J pays $13 a month and never sees any ads on YouTube.
Yeah, okay, $13 a month, but
they like it. They like what YouTube is offering. It's worth $13 a month.
Yeah. Well, I can appreciate that. Back in the day when you paid for channels that were like commercial free, I think it was more than $13 a month. So we should appreciate. It is worth appreciating what YouTube's made possible.
Yeah.
The technology world.
Yeah. Well, we got Gail from France. We got America Marcy, who's, let me guess, from the United States of America.
That'd be cool if she wasn't.
Yeah, be like me from California, being like, "Hey, my name is
French Ben
Benjamin de France."
Yeah, but I don't speak French, and I'm not from there.
Where else are you guys from? Raymond? Let me guess. Raymond is from New Jersey. How about Raymond's from New Jersey?
We need a stand-in. Ben's got to get out of here. We need a stand-in host. Ben's got to get out of here soon.
Yeah, 45. No, yeah, 45 minutes.
If anybody wants to be spontaneous and jump on a Google Meet call with me, Jonathan, are you still out there? Did you give up on us?
Nah, Jonathan's chilling.
Yeah, maybe Jonathan could do it. That'd be fun.
Yeah, he's excited that we finally got all of our things plugged in. So
okay.
What? Raymond, where is Gaspesia? I've never heard of Gaspesia.
It's a software problem.
That's crazy. Joe, what kind of a place do you think Gaspesia is?
Ooh. It sounds a little bit like Latinish, like in the Spanish Latin kind of sounds. Really
I was gonna say France, but they said Quebec, which has French in.
Dude, I wasn't even close. I was so wrong.
Not even close. But I have information you don't. His little icon, Raymond's, is like a face wearing a little artist
Okay. Okay,
beret
that's
thing.
cool.
So
It's kind of a
yeah.
fun process I'm doing here.
What are you
Can you
doing?
guess what I'm painting?
Yeah, you're painting shallow water over a rocky bed.
All right, I'm glad you saw that. Nice. Thanks. Well, so it's kind of fun to not do layers and just do it like left to right, top to bottom. Just do it across using this pattern. Things are grayer and squishier where I'm not on the face of a ripple. Grayer and squished this. That's squishier. It's more squished. So like I can continue this rock right here. I can continue it. So like here we have a little valley in the rocks, like between two rocks. Okay, so I'm just gonna like make a squished zigzag just to show that the shapes are squished right there and make it more gray. And it doesn't, like the exact lineup of it all really doesn't matter a lot. It just gives the feel of the natural distortion that happens. It's kind of fun. So we put a whole bunch of those. I'm doing more horizontal shapes to my valleys between the rocks.
Hey, so check this out. We learned last week that while our audio was off, you guys, in stream number 2, we were talking about how it's good for your work to be about something. That's something Joe said once to me that really stuck. And I think that last week's painting, if you can remember, it's kind of now behind this painting. It wasn't really about anything.
It is in fact behind this one.
It was about, if it was about anything, it was about liberation,
freedom. Yeah.
Pure, unfiltered liberation is not particularly easy for a person to track with. So
that's it. Yeah, that's good.
This time, let's make it about something.
Okay, good idea. I'm making an actual scene this time. I got reflection in shallow water. I'm gonna take it back because I was thinking, it'd be fun to kind of toy around with. Someone said, "What about the glassy look?" And I didn't get to making it a short video, a standalone video, but it might be a fun thing. I have already covered that in multiple videos, so maybe I could just do it on the live stream. Talk about the glassy effect. How do you make something glassy? And I can tell you in a couple sentences. Actually, I could tell you in a word. You know what the glassy effect comes from?
What's it come from?
Edges.
Edges.
That's it. Edges. Sharp ones. When you, whatever reflection you put on your glassy surface, you just make sure all the edges are crisp, sharp edges, like a mirror reflection. It doesn't matter how reflective it is. It doesn't matter how vividly you see the reflection itself or how much it reproduces the original colors. You might just have a faint reflection like glass. It has often just a faint reflection. But what matters is that the edges are not blurred. That's the glassy effect. So with a paintbrush, it's really good at blurring edges, right? So that's the battle, is trying to get, if you want glassy effect, then you keep the edges sharp. I wonder if that could be we've talked about edges a lot in your work, but for anybody that doesn't know, that hasn't heard the live stream a million times, Ben's in the film industry, doing a lot of commercial work.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
And you equate edges to timeline transitions.
Yeah. Well, if you look at like the interface for, all right. For anybody that doesn't know, I do a lot of video making, a lot of video editing as well. And so like in a video editor, you've got just a bunch of little video clips, you got a bunch of little audio clips, you got little parameters, buttons, where to put them, what adjustments, how do they all move or not move or layer. Right? It's just like paint. Less fluid than paint,
but it's storytelling. I think the important part is
it's the same goal. Take a blank canvas, put a story on it, engage a viewer, right? Same thing. And this edges business is definitely the case where, you know, you can very quickly make something that has very few edges.
Yeah.
And it can be huge. It can be big. It can be long, you know, but it can be very fast because you have edge reduction. So there's a bunch of edges, a bunch of details.
Is it possible that there's any association with a glassy effect when edges are, when, you know, like, is there any common ground with reflecting sharp edges? You know, it's like an analogy challenge. Can we make any analogy? They're similar.
I don't know. Maybe in 10 minutes.
Maybe in 10 minutes. Yeah.
Hey,
okay.
check this out. It's October. It's about a week into October. It's getting a little bit cooler outside where I'm at. I'm thinking about maybe it's time to close the windows soon. Maybe in another 2 weeks, I might turn on my heater, guys. It's getting cold. Autumn is on its way, and Joe's putting orange on the canvas. So we've got
orange. Hey, that's true.
Here
that's true.
Starting to sense.
I wonder if I was. I wonder if I was a little bit influenced.
Let's look ahead at life, guys. Where are we going? You know, the best thing I was thinking, what should we paint? What should Joe paint? What should we talk about? Should. Right?
I'm already painting now. This is the time to suggest what the paint's over.
When life presented me with a blank canvas, what should we do? I was thinking to myself, we're moving into the autumn season here, you know, let's look forward in life. And if we're going to do that, this is an opportunity. Like we were saying, our mediums are similar in this way. You know what's great about it? Guys out there, tell me if I'm wrong. You know what's great about making a story on a blank canvas? I love that you can imagine a thing that is not real and you can just make it real.
Just make it real. Why does that feel so good? Why does that feel so good? You know, like I just get lost in it. That process you just described, it is such a therapeutic.
It's intoxicating. Yeah.
It is. It's like, yeah, man, I'm in this moment and it just feels good. But it's hard to really pinpoint what's so good about it. I just know it feels good.
Yeah. Yeah. And so if you're going to make something real, you know, be intentional about it. Have fun with it. What would be good to have out into the world? You know? Well, I was talking about this earlier. I was telling, I don't know, my dad or you or somebody, I was talking about how I would be a horrible fighter, right? Physical fighter, fists, fighting, you know? I would be horrible at that because
it's not creating, you're creating destruction.
I am putting out into the world violence, destruction, right? Whoever I got into it with is going to have a worse day. I'm going to have a worse day. Everything gets worse. I don't want to put things into the world that make the world worse. When I do that, I feel worse, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And the truth is, I'm like that too, you know, and it's not just a thought process. It's a physical reaction to the environment. You're like, this person's raging. There's rage in the air. It's turning
you
bad.
You and I will call each other an hour after a difficult conversation just to apologize because of the
feels bad,
crippling remorse. You know, of like maybe I made someone feel bad.
Yeah,
and I don't want that.
We don't want that. It doesn't feel good. Yeah, I agree. So you're like we are probably at the extreme end of being fixated on trying to dig for beauty. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of people are a lot more okay with the mundane, like let's watch some football, eat some chips. Like we don't need beautiful music playing right now.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
There's this heavy there's a heavy impossible burden of suffering and difficulty ingrained in life that I just feel that it takes active, aggressive, constant focus, refocusing and reframing and pushing to make anything other than that happen. Because the slippery slope, the gravity of being a person seems to be trending towards frustration with life.
Yeah.
We were
Yeah,
talking about
right.
this. Can you control life, or do you have the grace to let life be and be a part of it?
Yeah.
Like it just, there's plenty of difficult feeling naturally occurring in the world. As an artist, it's a really good opportunity for me to be intentional about what I'm going to put out there,
Yeah.
because that's how people are going to remember.
The problem I have with that, let me tell you where the rubber meets the road, so to speak.
Sure.
I like the way that sounds on paper.
Sure.
But
Sure.
then once I have an agenda, it always ends up bad. Like I come back to the project. So let's say, for example, I have this idea. You know what? I'm going to do a painting that has meaning. I'm going to do a meaningful painting. That's
Yeah.
intentional.
Yeah.
And then I come back to it a couple days later. The inspiration that I had is gone. My idea seems dumber than it was. Like it all just
Yeah.
falls apart on me. And so that was one reason that commission work ended up fitting me so well, was that I didn't have to stand by the vision of the work. I was just like enjoying the moment of making the nice looking thing, and then moving along. And that was so liberating for me. I always had a hard time, and I'm just being transparent.
Sure.
I'm not trying to say anything about the way things should be. It's just how it was, and I could not get to that place that other artists seem to dwell in, where it's like, well, let me tell you why I did this piece and the meaning of it. Like nothing ever stood, nothing would remain. It was always a moving target. So I gave up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's something to say, I suppose. There's like a burden some people might feel, that they have something to say, or a need to be understood. They have a feeling that they need someone to say, I see you and I understand.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah, right.
if you don't have that, then it doesn't matter,
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of where I was at. But I do think that what you're saying is a good thing at the same time. So you see, it's a very frustrating sort of a pickle. It's like, yeah, I want to put good meaning out into the world, but I lost all confidence that I can intentionally do it. So I just kind of leaned on good old fashioned helpfulness, like, hey, here's someone asking for a good answer to this question. And that was my sweet spot. That was my home base,
Yeah.
like that was the safe place to hang out. It's like, well, I can do a pretty good job of trying to get good practical answers to practical art problems. So, we find our niche.
Yeah. Well, making work based on feelings is going to be tricky anyways, because feelings are so shifty.
They are. That's what I'm saying. They're
Like
shifty,
if
and
you
they would
show up and do a thing because you feel really intensely one way,
Yeah.
you better
Yeah.
hope the next day you still feel that way, or you better be able to
Yeah.
conjure up what made you feel that way.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't, I just nothing stuck for me. But what are you gonna do?
That's also why I don't have any tattoos.
Dude, same.
It's also why I've never written a movie while working in the movie business for over 15 years.
Yeah. So see this, we're the same. You have the same.
Like,
You have
what
the
could I
same
possibly
problem.
say that I'm
Yeah.
gonna stand by with equal conviction at some point? And then
Exactly.
also, do I need to stand by it in
Yeah.
the future? Or is making it the important thing to do because of the impact it may have on somebody else, wherever they are doing whatever they're doing? And it's okay for me to move beyond it, because the value, the virtue was in human beings just communicating what they're really going through.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
do you not paint anything because you're not confident you'll be able to get your painting to where it needs to be in your mind, you know?
Yeah.
Like America is saying failure only comes once you commit. And Leonardo is saying leave space for bigger, happy accidents, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right. Leave space. Yeah. I think that's a good idea. You know, like be adaptable. Be adaptable. Like be able to change the plan along the way. It's been very helpful to me as I've gotten older and my ego has been worked out a little bit. You know, it's been really helpful for me to listen to people's reaction as something progresses. Just really listen to it and give it credence, give it credibility, make it valuable, not just like, well, that's just what you think. No, rather I think it's helped me out to kind of like try to tune into, well, that's interesting. Why is that reaction happening? You know, they feel like my painting's crooked. Why are they feeling that? And even ask more questions about it. Say, oh, well, I appreciate you telling me that. What, you know, and trying to probe a little bit. When you're working for customers, you got to do that anyway. Like in the professional world, you don't really have a choice. You do it because you have to.
Yeah. Jonathan says he likes to think about what the world needs that you feel passionate about. And he says, I don't know how to paint feeling yet, but when I do, I'll try to paint some peace into the world.
Yeah, it starts with some calm water, my friend.
Yeah, man. Some tranquil waters.
That's it. That's how you do peace.
And then Jet Set's got a pretty cool tattoo idea for me here that I'll have to decode.
Oh, okay. All right. See if he can challenge you to make the leap.
I think it's like an alien language is what it is. I don't, but it's
Oh,
cool.
Yeah. How
Hey, well, Leonardo wants you to know, Joe, that your painting looks amazing.
Hey, all right, man. Thanks. I appreciate it. Thanks.
So what you got going here is doing things.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that.
We want to hear about it, guys. We want to hear about your feelings. Tell us about your shifting feelings. We know how we work. We know why we paint. Get out of bed.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking, you know, we were chatting yesterday about adaptability, about you know, about that sense of entitlement. You had mentioned it earlier. Probably the audio was off when we were talking about it at the beginning.
Yeah.
I don't know, but you know, get out of my way. The phrase "get out of my way" is like non-adaptability.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite of adaptability, and that it's that that mission always fell apart. That's kind of like what I'm describing. That mission to get my agenda accomplished and have it actually be something good always fell apart on me.
Yeah.
And it's fragile. It's a fragile person when you get chewed out by somebody who's having the worst day, the person doing the chewing or the person getting chewed, you know? I say the person doing the chewing is having the worst day. That's my opinion on the matter.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to show you how to do glass. I don't know what we're actually going to be reflecting here, but watch this.
Hey, you want some poetry while you do that?
Yeah.
Jet Set Jay gave us some, and it goes like this.
Let's hear it. Okay,
let's hear it. Said the wind to the leaves. One day, come over the meadow and we shall play. Put your dresses scarlet and gold, for summer's gone and the days grow cold.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
I don't know.
Yeah. So it's like passing from one.
Jay penned that or copy pasted it or what, but you know.
Yeah. The leaves are just stable and locked in place, you know, and then the wind is like, come on. That's kind of fun. That's a fun analogy.
Yeah.
All right. Look, glass effect. Here we go. The reflection will not have blurry edges. And on water, I have my reflection areas already assigned with the with my gradients, these gradients, you can see where the reflection is. So I'm going to put very smooth brush strokes. That's my intention. I'm intentional about making these smooth brush strokes because the glass effect relies on non-blurry edges in order to be perceived as a mirror-like reflection of something. So it doesn't have to be undistorted, because you can have ripples that look very glassy, but we want it to be very smooth, like smooth as in clean, sharp edges. They don't look like they've been blurred by rough surface. That's what causes a reflection to be blurry, is the roughness of the surface. It's like when you get in a program and 3D modeling program, you might choose the roughness of your surface texture, and what that's doing is blurring the reflection. Whatever math is being done to calculate reflection is just blurring it.
It's an awesome TV show, Joe.
What?
On Netflix, there's a show called Is It Cake?
Oh, I know that show. We've watched that. Yeah, it's fun.
I love that show. I was just watching that show yesterday, and the people that are the best on that competition are the ones that can skillfully do the texture, the lines, the surface, cool. Right? They can make it all as
that's
confusing.
cool.
They're confusing the eye to believe you're not looking at a cake. You're looking at a duck, right? Or a fire hydrant, or whatever they're making the cake look like.
Yeah. That's cool.
Well, right now we're looking at a canvas. Make no mistake, that's a canvas, not a lake.
That's it, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
The most success you're going to have is in just having attention to, like you said, the textures, the lines. Because like the show, Is It Cake? Those are the things that tip the judges off that's not what it appears to be. It's in fact something else. And we are trying to sell the viewer on, this is not canvas. This is a lake.
It's not just canvas. This is a world. This is a fun world to explore here. Yeah.
The edges. Yeah, right. Yeah. The edges is where that matters.
Yeah. So see, this one got away from me a little bit. This edge here kind of got sloppy, and so I'm paying attention to those little things. I'm putting underwater color in here because we got a dark object being reflectioned. Stumbled a little on my words. I don't get paid for my vocabulary. Okay,
that's okay. Leonardo has some vocabulary for us instead. They say motivation is sometimes hard to get, but when you feel the need for doing something, it becomes you in a way, and it's deeper. The important part is to have a space to grow and be aware of ourselves. Leonardo, that's kind of what we were talking about earlier.
It's a good mouthful.
How
it's cool
does someone be self-centered enough to have that awareness of ourselves?
Yeah.
But
not grossly self-centered.
But not so self-aware that we are limited and we do not see our audience or our world.
Word.
You know?
Yeah.
That is the perplexing paradigm of parabolas. Wait.
Whoa! You just pulled out. There's a word for that.
Paradox.
No, there's a word for it.
Paradigm of paradoxical parabolas.
What is going on right now? That's some creativity. Nice job with the words.
From Portland, Kathy. Hey, Kathy's from Portland. Let's throw that in there. That's some paradoxical. I can't even remember. From Portland.
Good job. I like it. Okay, so I'm just putting reflection underwater, and I'm flattening these just in case anyone was wondering what my method is here. I'm striving to get a glassy effect on this water by making sure any reflected edges are sharp edges, not grainy, not blended, not grainy.
Get out the razor blade, guys. Sharp edges.
Yeah, that's the glassy effect in a nutshell. That's it. And the more it's very hard to detect a glassy effect if there is no image to reflect, because then you just have a gradient, and a smooth gradient doesn't really give you information on how rough the texture is. You like need some texture in there. All right.
I just had to Google a word because you guys are just throwing vocabulary around like this is a college course.
What is it?
So
Now
we got
I'm
a word
curious.
here called alliteration.
Oh, that's it. That's what we got. Alliterations. That's when you keep doing. Go ahead. Tell it, Ben.
Yeah, no, run. What do you got?
It's a subtle form of poetry when you do a string of poetic verse where words start with the same letter.
That's it. That's it. You got
Yeah.
it. And bing, bing, bing. The big winner for who thought of alliteration first is Kathy Adams from Portland. What does she win? She wins an hour and a half live stream.
Nice.
Hey, Kathy Adams.
You get some appreciation.
Yeah,
Hey, you know what I think looks awesome?
Shane shows up too. Yeah, alliteration, the occurrence of the same letter or sound at the beginning of adjacent or closely connected words.
Hey, how
It's
are you
like
doing?
Eminem. It's like the Eminem effect, you know?
Is it?
Well, yeah, it's like how he raps, you know?
Is it? I never noticed. I never noticed that. That's interesting. No,
Yeah, he
really, it's something new. Does he use a lot of alliteration?
He takes like the same syllable and just puts it in the exact same place all over, you know, like.
Okay. Yeah, right. Man, have you seen that guy on?
No. Yeah, I don't know. I can't rap, but you know.
Do we have any fans of America's Got Talent? There's a contestant on there. He's got a pretty thick British accent, and he raps freestyle like nothing I have ever seen in my life. His ability to put words. I mean, he like takes all these suggestions from the audience crowd and he puts them into a rap in real time, and the number of words and the story,
amazing.
It's off the charts. It's like, dude, this guy is like savant level.
Yeah.
I can't even believe what I'm seeing.
I do get curious about, like my brain is a weird place, and I don't suppose everybody's is happening in this way. You know, I think about other brains and how they must be operating and what it looks like from inside there. And people who can rap, especially people who can freestyle rap,
dude,
can you imagine what that's like inside that brain? Like they must just see words just flying all over the place, or like words in the shapes of colors or something, right? They have some conceptualization of language that I don't, because they're thinking so far ahead and it's with such accuracy and precision, you know. I love rap music, guys, for these reasons. I think it's cool.
Yeah, dude.
Leanne is doing some painting off screen with you, so that's cool.
Nice.
Leanne, don't paint on your screen. For sure, keep it off screen.
So when I mix, Ben, do you consider purple a warm color or a cool color? Tell me.
Oh man, here we go.
No, you don't have to. It's just
relativity, Joe.
I'm just asking what you consider.
Einstein, really? Right away.
I'm not going to argue. I'm not arguing. I'm just curious what your feeling is on it. Does it feel?
My first answer, I'll just be unvarnished. My first answer was warm.
Yeah, it has a, I would say, warmer than cool vibe to it. Purple. But then, you know, you can, purple is in the middle. So if you make a real blue shade of purple, you can definitely shift that feeling. I was thinking that I love the way cool gradients look overlapped with warm gradients. So I was working on something in the cooler lighting setting. So I was going to go on the blue side of purple in my shadows and make this like it's kind of just barely out of the light. And then I was going to put some warm lighting behind it, because I've just come to learn about myself that I love the way that looks. No special science to it. I just love the way it looks. I want to show you how I like that.
Well, it's working, man. Keep going.
Okay, cool. Nice. Glad to hear that.
You know, Utkarsh Raj Yaguru.
Good job with the accent. You nailed it.
Your name is so fun to say, man. I wish my name was that fun to say.
Yeah. How authentic does Ben's accent sound when he does that?
Oh, that's true. I probably sound really stupid.
That's what we're here to do. We're here to please, Ben. Sounding
it's like if you
stupid.
go to a Taco Bell and order a burrito, like how stupid you are.
What is this guy doing?
Yeah,
Totally.
I'll have the nachos Bel Grande burrito, please.
Yeah, Taco
Like,
Bell's not the place
punch
for
that
that.
guy in the face, man.
Pretending. What is this guy trying to?
Yikes. Hey, anyways, Utkarsh Raj Yaguru says, we were talking earlier about how does an artist be self-aware enough
to what's the balance?
Do authentic work, but open enough to make it relevant to the audience.
There you go.
Utkarsh says, as Ram Dass says, Ram Dass is it doesn't matter, you can look him up. As Ram Dass said, be in it, but not of it.
Oh, nice. That's biblical.
Which I was going to say is a very biblical theme as well. This is a way that humans have conceived of their place in the world for quite some time.
Well, not everybody.
Well, certainly not everybody.
It's a view in the world, but not of it. Is that was advice.
Right. So that is a way that some are handling that.
Yeah, but I like it. I like it.
Scenarios.
I relate to in the world, but not of it. Because I can't be investing all my like pursuit of meaning in something that's going to be like over tomorrow. Like I'm going to die so soon. In the broad scheme of things, it feels like it's around the corner to me. In the broad scheme of things, that life doesn't feel long, is what I'm trying to say.
Isn't that weird? I also feel that way.
It's like feels right around the corner. I'm like, man, this is all just I can't.
Any minute it could end. I definitely feel that any minute it could end.
So I'm not trying to draw more meaning out of this temporary experience than what naturally comes to me. Actually, that's a lie. I do try, but I guess that's just kind of the curb check. It's like, well, you're trying to pull lots of meaning out of a very temporary thing here. And then I think, better to invest in the world that I feel like I'm made for.
Well, it's kind of poetic to say be in the world, but not of the world. But if you consider yourself, when you go, I've watched people's lives end, right? I've watched them vanish right in front of me. Their essence, their consciousness, their whatever, right?
Most people have. I mean, we've all seen death.
I don't think so. I don't think a lot of people have watched the change.
Well, the ratio is 1 to 1. It's pretty common.
Americans are good at dying in silence and secrecy. Anyway, whatever. That's another.
Okay.
Like other countries, they parade them around down the street, some body or whatever. Here, we're like, let's just get that out of the whatever.
That's true. Yeah. Different cultural.
But if you think about your being, right, you got to be lying to yourself in order to say, I just watched a human being become something else. But we're just people, and that's it. If you watch a human being's life end, you get pretty aware of how they were in this world, but now something about them is not of this world.
Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah.
Maybe a parent would have the same sensation. I've never had kids, but like seeing a human come out of another human would probably provoke those same feelings of like, there was no human and now there's a human. And they have this like personality. This thing has emerged from something somewhere, and it didn't come out of the bushes because the bushes don't have this personality.
Yeah. I can tell you, watching my kids be born, I did not have a sense of ownership. That was not natural. That had to develop. So like there is that. I would say it's disorienting when for me, my experience watching my first child be born. Disorienting, so unreal, not comparable to other experiences. And you, just like you described, you see a life and you're like, that is an individual that, that is no longer my wife's pregnant belly. That is now an individual person that I don't know anything about. I don't know anything about that person. It's so strange. So I would
Yeah.
say a heavy sense of the weight of people's individuality just kind of hit me, and I really struggled. It took me like 2 weeks to even feel that loving sense of connectedness.
Yeah.
Sorry, kids.
Well, if they'd stop pooping all over your stuff, it'd be a lot easier to love them.
I know, man. It was so stressful. I was like, okay, I have to change diapers now, and I got to do all this. Like, oh man, I'm just a teenager, So I felt like when I was 21, 25, actually. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, Utkarsh, I'm glad I didn't butcher your name. It's just fun to say, man.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. So you're on the right track with that pronunciation? Is that what I'm hearing?
And I quote, you said my name surprisingly well. All right, Joe, you hear that?
Utkarsh.
Okay,
I like it.
Guru.
Thank you for that feedback. I really appreciate you taking a moment to say that, Utkarsh. That's cool. But how am I saying it? Utkarsh. Am I saying it as good as Ben?
Utkarsh, you're not even looking at the letters. Utkarsh.
Who's saying? Guru. I'm just listening to Ben's, so it's kind of like a,
That's true.
Second. Yeah.
Courtney says, "What's up, Courtney Quiroz? I've been watching you for 10 years, Joe. Courtney been watching you for 10.
Whoa, nice. Thank you for doing that. That's cool. You've seen a lot of change.
Oh, they have.
Yeah. Thank you for watching for so long. Oh, I don't like making X's. I accidentally just made a, this is a very unnatural thing to have happen when branches make X's like that. That was total accident. I just did it. I got to try to distract from that strange composition problem. Bring another branch up here. Look at this one, not that one. Okay. Warm gradient behind cool gradient. That's the goal here, to get dynamic.
And it is. Yeah. It is dynamic. It is dynamic.
That's what I want.
Kathy says, my emerged newborn is 25.
Dude, that's
hard to comprehend. She's not still a child. Seeing time in my mother, though, is very real. Seeing time in my mother.
Yeah. I got to take a while to take that one.
She made a person and then they became 25. That's pretty wild.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. In this world, but not of this world. You know what's? I got a problem, Joe. I got to figure out what to do about this.
I've been trying to tell you got a problem for years.
Well, you got to tell me what to do about it. I find being electric. Just being is electric. Like, I look at my own body and it weirds me out that I'm inside this thing. Like, I can imagine I would still be me with no arm or no legs or no torso. Or like, what if I had no this, no what, no body part? What part of me is me? Where is me?
Yeah, I got you.
It's just happening here, kind of, and it's like the essence of me is just gravitated to this fleshy body, and it's going to stick here until the heart stops beating, and then the essence of me will do whatever it does,
Yeah, do whatever it does. You don't have
has never been able to track with, like.
You don't have a category for the essence of your being. You don't.
How are there like 300 million people all running around, not tripping out on what in the world are we?
Yeah. Yeah. Why are people not tripping on that? Yeah, I think.
How is it not tripping? How is it so preoccupying that it is most of what we talk about, which is me, right? It's most of what I talk about because I can't get over. You have no clue what you are, what's happening, or you have no clue how to even contextualize any of this sensation.
For me, the greatest, right. I think you are naturally highly intrigued. We're made sensitive by birth to certain kinds of things. Like I didn't choose to be sensitive to what doing creative things does to me. Like when I sat down to draw a picture for the first time, I didn't choose that was going to just float my boat. You know what I mean? And it did. And I was like, I'm just going to keep doing this. How about forever? I'm just going to do this forever. I knew. And so, I think that's our first clue when in the great mystery is when we realize, gosh, I am bent more than normal. I think it's a mistake to say, why am I not like other people, or to complain about not being like other people, and more advantageous to say, interesting, I've been made with this bent. And that's like a clue in itself to the mystery, is that you are actually engineered with that bent. And so for me, the creative process, like a fractal, points to it coming from a greater source that I don't have access to. Like the leaf resembles the tree, strongly resembles the tree. It has all the same direction of stems and veins, and if you turn it up and down, it actually looks like the tree itself. But that doesn't mean that the leaf can comprehend the tree.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I feel. Like creative process kind of points me to that. Like, all right, I'm on this trajectory of eventually gaining understanding, but I have to accept that I've been put in a place where I don't have the tools to comprehend my origination, my making.
Well, that's the perplexing thing about it.
You're discontent.
Why be given the inclination to be curious and to ask if you are not also equipped with the ability to have an answer?
Yeah. Well, maybe you're just impatient. Maybe the real issue is impatience. Kind of like get out of my way. It's kind of like, give me the answer. Maybe you just gotta be like, well, I clearly don't have the answer, but you can be patient, and things may get more clear.
For me, it's more like insisting on grasping the solution to complicated calculus, but not knowing what numbers are.
Yeah, right. And so it's good to be in tune with, you definitely don't have the tools, but it'd be all equal mistake to assume that you've properly summed up the problem.
Yeah, that's it. I can't even build a foundation to begin to arrive at any sort of conclusion. So therefore, it's perplexing that I'm so preoccupied. And that's where I become jealous of other people that are able to not care or not focus on the perplexing, paradoxical parts of being a person,
Yeah.
Like if I can imagine the layman. We'll just put the layman here right next to me. They would be like, I don't know, dude.
How about
what do you have for breakfast? Right? Like what, you gonna do some laundry today? Tangible, ground level life stuff.
Yeah.
Is enough for a lot of people,
But I think there's a lot of depth in that. I think that may easily get categorized as having less depth. And I don't think that's the case.
I would say more acceptance. I would not say less depth. I would say skillful acceptance, which I don't have,
Right. I can relate. I definitely relate to that. You know what? I think Russell's paradox is a famous paradox. It was said that Russell, the person that defined the paradox, was like driven to insanity when confronted by
it. Will. Yeah. Well, because think about, where does this terminate, right? You've got road number 1. I have a flesh brain, right? I need oxygen and water, otherwise I cease to be in this world, right? I have flesh needs. Okay. I'm also trying to take flesh brain and grasp a very unfleshy question, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I gotcha.
The other dimensions, other realms, if there is anything, right? Like
if there
layers of being that are not fleshy brain based, So
I say, how could there not be? I can't fathom there not being a next level up. Because that would not that would like not line up with everything I've ever observed.
I guess I just find it frustrating that I feel an urgency to run a race, but I don't have any legs.
Yeah, frustrating indeed. That's a good description, actually. I like that. I feel the urgency to run a race, but I don't have legs.
I'm anxious and eager, and it gets me out of bed every day to do a thing.
Yeah.
Every time I go to do the thing, I realize I don't have what it takes to do the thing.
Yeah. You know how when you see somebody that's in a place, this just gives me a thought. This is not advice. This is a thought. You know, when you see someone that's in a place that you've been and they're struggling and you feel compelled to say, hey, I know what you're going through. Let me talk you through it for a moment here. You know, I remember you telling a story of doing that exact thing, actually. And you know, what makes that, I consider that a beautiful moment. I just like it. I just like that that's a thing when we see somebody going through what we've gone through and then we talk them through it. It's like a display of caring love, you know? And well, I think that only happens when you've taken the time to go through it. And going through takes time, right? So I think there is appreciation to be had when we find ourselves in the middle of that frustrating confusion. I'm going through something that is very frustrating here. Life is not making sense. And, but I think some foresight, but it's also not static. It's also going somewhere. And someday, perhaps I'll be walking somebody through this puzzle, and it'll be an opportunity to express love for that person, you know? So I think there is beauty to be had in it.
There's some imagination getting whipped up out here in this room, and Jenny Penny Art likes to imagine when
nice name
when we, I know, right? Jenny Penny Art.
Yeah.
It's almost as fun to say. It's Utkarsh Raj Yaguru, Jenny Penny Art. They imagine when they get to heaven, we will be able to paint and mix colors using light. So that's where they're.
Dude, awesome. I love that. Except you can do it right now on a computer screen. You're actually using light. So
heaven is a computer monitor. Mural Joe first.
Boy, that's a real buzzkill to say something like that. That was an insensitive.
Now everybody knows I'm full of garbage. Shane
no, I'm talking about
or sound. You know, like imagine if you were like,
ooh, that'd be awesome. Yeah. I didn't mean to dazzle. I feel like I shot down Jimmy.
No, you know what Joe is getting at is he's been obsessed with the way light mixes. So he's thinking, you know,
when you're on a computer screen, you are indeed making a picture with light. However, I can totally relate because I dream of the same kind of magic. I'm like, man, I hope my first hope is that I go to heaven. Okay. My second hope is I can do exactly what she described, use real world to create real environments, not just on canvas, because creativity feels so awesome.
Creativity does feel awesome.
It does. So I want to ask a question. I want to see if anybody knows the answer to this. Why am I making the reflection of this purplish background in a shade of brown on this water? It's not a real simple answer, but I want to see if anybody is tuned to this same pattern I'm using. It's a distinct pattern of nature. It's not just an artistic choice. I'm choosing to make this conform to a lifelike effect on bodies of water. And so there's a reason that these reflections don't match the colors of the source.
This is your quiz moment, guys. Have you been?
It's a quiz. But I'm not trying to sound extra smart.
Or are you like me and you've not been paying attention at all?
Which is fine.
Courtney is curious. Do purple and orange make brown?
Purple and orange do indeed make a shade of brown. It's right in here. You know, this I would say it makes a gray red. Purple and orange would make a gray red. That'd be my defining of the color.
Is that why you're choosing the colors you are? Is because
No.
purple and orange make brown?
No, that's not it. Okay, so this is
Val loves
it.
the contrast, by the way. Val is really into this
All right,
here.
thanks. Nice.
Thanks, Val.
Thanks, Val. Thanks, I appreciate that. I want to make some shallow water going up here.
So
this is why I did.
Gina Tolomeo. Gina Tolomeo. Art with wisdom. She says, love this.
Ben, how are you doing on time?
I'm out of it. I need
Dude,
to tap
you gotta
out.
get out of here.
Somebody else step up
Yeah.
to the plate.
We're gonna
shut.
shut this down in a little bit. But Jonathan, if you're out there, be my host if you're up for it. Let me know if you're still there. Or if somebody else wants to. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send an email to you that'll just have you jump on this same video chat. See this double screen view here? This is a Google Meet window. You'll get a link. You'll click on it, and then you'll just appear in front of the world, the whole world.
Next thing you know, you're in front of the world, and you're being like, "Hey, I should trim this beard. This beard's looking kind of long."
Yeah. And I should get a haircut. Probably time when I turn my head back.
Maybe I should let the beard grow, and you should grow your fro out.
Yeah. Okay, someone asked about the Glassy effect. I just want to make this crystal clear, no pun intended. I want to make this crystal clear that I made all these edges, real sharp edges. Doesn't matter if they're distorted, if they bend around, but see how I'm not blending with my brush. And that is the effect when you see a reflection not getting blurred by roughness. That is the glass effect. That's all you need. It doesn't matter how extreme we make the reflection. It matters how sharp we make the edges of the reflection. Sharp. That's it. It's sharpness. Oh.
Sharpness.
We got to let Ben get out of here. Do we have any response for additional video host?
Yeah, they're running for the hills. Go figure.
Nobody wants
to jump at the opportunity to suddenly, without warning, have their face thrust out into the world.
That's okay. We don't have to do it. You know what we can do?
Hey, we got one. We got one.
All right. Who's willing?
We got
Who's
Courtney
the willing
Q.
sacrifice?
Courtney Rose.
All right. Nice. Courtney, you want to come on board?
Courtney,
I would love that.
I need you to send an email right now to share@muraljoe.com.
That's it. And now I'll reply with the link.
Hi, I'm Courtney. Send it to share@muraljoe.com.
That's it.
And we might be able to say hi to Gina as well if you want, Joe. So.
Oh, is Gina in the crowd?
Yeah, Gina Tolomeo.
Okay, nice. She has a painting that I kind of misrepresented on the last live stream. I was looking for an opportunity to, I didn't read the context of the email all the way. I was kind of rushing through it. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So email you ladies, if you can email share@muraljoe.com if you'd like him to.
Yeah, we can put you on the call. We can even get more than one person on the call. Here, have some fun.
Courtney
if you're feeling brave.
Let Gina do it. Oh, Gina got called out.
Okay. Well, whichever one comes in, I'm confused about which one we're doing.
Gina.
We're gonna get Gina. Okay, let's get
Gina. Is right now frantically emailing share@muraljoe.com.
All right, we're gonna do it. Hang on, you're gonna stare at the painting for a little bit. Let's look at that glass effect.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you. I got 5 minutes to tell you a story.
Okay, let's hear it.
This is a story about big city living. This is a story about what we were talking about.
Okay.
All right. So coming home from a coffee shop. I was doing some work and I come to my apartment and there's a parking spot. I live in a dense city. Okay. I live in a dense city and there's parking spots in front of people's driveways. There's parking spots all over the place. Well, this one particular neighbor believes that the particular spot should be theirs. And there was a car park there that was not theirs. And so they proceeded to write some really creative notes and put them all up on the car. So they ran out of space on the first note because their profanities required so much real estate that they put that piece of paper under the windshield wiper and then continued on to a second piece of paper to add more profanities and added that to the windshield wiper, the other windshield wiper. And I was getting such a kick as we were talking about, you know, Joe, you were saying, is it worse to be the person who's doing the chewing out or the person who gets chewed? And I'm just sitting here laughing because the person with that car is off doing whatever they're doing. They're having a blast, right? They don't know. They just park the car. Meanwhile, person who's leaving all the notes, making the power move, they're just seething. They're on fire inside, you know? They wish they could leave more notes. And I thought how interesting this illusion that we fall into.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought. We're going to continue in a moment. Okay. I just have to say, I sent an email to Gina. Gina, I sent the email already. I already have your email from previous things. So I sent a link to you. So just look for that link and you'll just join on the video call. All right. So
how interesting that we feel this entitlement to a space, right? There's just a space in the world and we think to ourselves, that's my space, right? You just showed up. Two people had sex and here you are. It's not your space, right?
It's not a children's show now.
The human show.
It is. That wasn't out of bounds. No, so I'm giving you a hard time. Yeah, you're right. You just showed up.
And that feeling that person feels of, oh, how could they do that? They feel as though someone has taken something from them. There's grief in the loss of that space. You're doing it to yourself, man. Like, clear up the illusion that thing belongs to you.
Yeah, right.
Of someone wronging you, taking something from you. It all just goes away.
It all just goes away. Yeah. And in your artwork that applies to, you know, it's like you got to let go of what people are supposed to see.
Yeah. So the theme is, the reason I tell you a stupid story on a painting show about road rage and parking squabbles between entitled neighbors.
That's what we do here.
Is because I think it's really powerful to have grace with
it is. I agree.
The way that life is happening.
That's well said. I think that's true. Okay, we got Gina connected.
All right, Gina,
are you there? Give us some audio.
Here's the baton. I'm gonna get out of here. Joe, I love you. Everybody out there, thanks for hanging out with us, and I apologize for all the time I've wasted this morning with you.
It's what we're here to do.
But it's been rewarding. So
that's what we're here to do. We're just killing time.
Yeah. And Joe, cool painting, dude.
Thanks.
Very cool painting.
Thanks a lot. Well, you know,
I love this forest fire that's coming over the ridge here.
Yeah, fire can be beautiful.
Yeah,
it can.
In fact,
it can be beautiful. I got no audio yet, Gina. Can you give us a test? Hi. No audio yet. We got you joined twice.
Oh my God, I just don't know what I'm doing. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can. You're doing great. Look, we got two. We got two Ginas. There's double. Yeah, you joined on two devices.
What?
That's good.
Because I'm on my computer and my phone.
Yeah, but that's okay. I don't need to put you on the spot and show the video. We got the audio.
3 Ginas. That's what I want to know.
Probably more than 3 Ginas, actually.
Good trick. Good trick.
But you are infinitely unique and beautiful, Gina. Make no mistake.
Yeah, I'm multifaceted. But I sent Joe has my stuff in his email. The Jesus
I do.
Paint.
I do have that. Yeah. Do you want to? Should I pull that up and give a look at it? Oh, let's do that. Yeah.
Pull it up. I'm gonna go play some volleyball. Gina, thank you so much.
Okay.
Joe, love you.
Good seeing you, Ben. Thanks a lot. We'll catch you later. All right, I'm here with Gina.
See you, Gina.
See you, Ben. All right, thank you for filling up Ben's spot, Gina. I appreciate it. I'm gonna go right over to the inbox and pull up your picture right here. This is it. Okay, that's not the one. Give me a minute to get the right picture pulled up here. And you know what I missed? This was the old one, right? This is the one. Are you watching YouTube right now as well?
Yeah.
You see the image? Okay. So I actually have this one downloaded. So I'm going to go over to the app and we're going to put that one. I forgot that I already have it downloaded. I didn't even need to pull it out of the email. Okay. Here's your picture. We're going to put this in here, and we'll expand it. We'll zoom in on the face right here. And what we're going to do, I'm just going to give a few tips on how to make this face look even more natural than it already does. He did a great job with the natural skin tone, and proportions are fantastic. A lot of things really nice about this, but I want to help with expression, really just parts of expression. Okay, so here's the first thing I'm going to do is Gina, correct me if I'm wrong, but we want a subtle smile, like a happy look on this face, but not a big toothy smile, right? That's the goal.
No teeth.
No teeth, but we are looking for a happy expression, right? I'm not misinterpreting. Yeah. Okay, so instead of making the lips smile, which is a very intuitive, very understandable way to interpret a smile, but when we smile, the cheeks do most of the work, while the mouth really just stretches outward. It doesn't change its shape a whole lot, other than just stretching wider. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that. I'm going to swatch this color right here, this color on the lower lip. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I want to level the lips. So I'm just going to draw across here, and I'm going to make the lips more level like this. Okay, now that really squishes. You have to forgive that it makes the bottom lip fatter. You know, this is just a shortcut to getting it more level. Okay, so now we have less of that upper lip. So we could raise that up too. You know, we can do the same thing. Get this color, and we can take the upper lip a little higher like this. Okay, let's go like this, and we'll do another little bit of it right there. This is going to be on the simple side because we're just adjusting expression. We don't need it to be super, super detailed. I'm going to take your reflection color, nicely done. Most of the reflection on a lip usually happens around the sharp teeth that are kind of outside center. So this is a good place to put that. And then I really like to fade it off. This is a very subtle side note. It's not the main point of this. So I'll put most of the reflection in that area, and I'll let it be less here. This will give the mouth a more three-dimensional look if I do less of the reflection toward that corner of the mouth. There we go. We're just doing that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is here. Let me get a little bit lighter. Let me get a slightly lighter color on this thing right here. Let's find one of those light colors. Let's do that. And let's get this. All right. Okay. Are you able to see this, Gina? You seeing this? Okay.
Yes.
I want to make sure that okay, because this is your picture that you did so nicely. What was I going to do
with
just
your
now?
help, you helped me fix it before.
All right, sweet. I'm happy to hear that. That's the best compliment that I could ever hear. I love being helpful. I'm happy if it's helpful. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit lighter color, and there. I just wanted that lip to be visible. I want the look of a lip that is stretched out. Okay, so now I'm going to zoom out of this. The lip, do you see how it still has a little bit of a somewhat puckered expression? Since I raised up this line, it's straight. Now it looks a little bit on the puckered side, right? Tiny bit, not a lot, because of what I did, not because of the way you painted it. I leveled out the mouth, and it looks more serious because I did that. And so now I'm going to stretch the mouth. This is how you make a very natural looking smile, as we stretch it out. So I'm going to take my, let's see if we can put this little window. I want to make you very tiny. Struggling with navigating my computer here. Let's make you very, very tiny. Okay. I'm going to swatch this color again. So I'm just getting the same colors that I pulled from your canvas. This mouth is going to go wider like this. And that's going to get rid of that puckered look. That's going to undo it. Then I'll take this color here, that's the top lip, pull it out further. Okay, now the mouth is longer. A smile stretches out. It just pulls the corner straight out, and it raises the entire mouth. also. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to the cheeks. I'm going to make the cheeks tell the same story. So we go in here, and maybe I can just use the blender tool and nothing else. I wonder if I could do that. Let me make the size of it a little bigger, and we're going to start. Let's switch my blending mode there. Okay, I'm going to make round shapes right here. What this is going to suggest is that these muscles are balled up a little bit, and that creates a smile. And then I'm going to darken. This is all just gradient. It's not lines, but gradients still define shapes. They're like blurry lines that outline shapes. So I'll darken the gradient here at the nose bridge so that I have a brighter area that is, and these can be very subtle changes, very slight. Slightly darken it toward the nose. See how that makes the cheek pop out?
Yeah.
That difference, it only takes a little. I can't stress enough how little it takes to get this effect. So we interpret facial expression a lot from three-dimensional structure perceived by the shadow gradients, light and shadow gradients, as opposed to the lines. So it's kind of natural to think that it's mostly based on the lines of the face, but these gradients, the shapes of the lights and shadows, has a huge influence on that perception. So I made the muscles of that, his right cheek smile, the one on the left side. I'm going to do the same thing to one on this side. Just using the blender tool, I'm going to pull that light up a little bit and round it a little so that, it's just doing it until I feel that I've accomplished a more rounded smile look. You do it the amount that you feel is, it's trial and error is what I'm trying to say, but it's knowing which dial to turn is the more valuable thing. I can't tell you exactly what shape to make it, but I can say that as we make them more round, we get a more smiling expression. Okay, so now let's zoom out. Do you see how that made it happier looking, less serious? Just by rounding the cheek shadows. Okay, now if I make the line that is under the cheek, between the cheek and nose, I can just swatch this color right here. You've already got a good shadow color right under the nostril. And if I just use that color, I can go in here and make a little line right there. Now, the placement of that line matters a lot. So right now, it kind of aims from just above the nostril, right down near the corner of the mouth if I were to complete it. And that's not very big smile. It's not like a huge smile. Let's zoom out and see if it's enough. It looks like a pretty nice balance to me, but let's experiment with how much more we can make it smile for the sake of understanding. If I raise it up and out, now I'm aiming it more sideways, away from the corner of the mouth that's here. I'm going away from that corner because a big smile does this shape. It goes, that's a big smile. That's what happens to that line. Whereas the serious face goes directly from nostril to corner. That serious line, smile line was the first one. Okay, let's undo those. Now let's see how much more it's smiling from that line. Okay, now I'm just going to blend it out a little bit. Let's use the blender. You can choose, because maybe you're not trying to make a real big and boisterous expression. It's totally up to you. Well, we kind of got a little bit extreme on that one. Let's see if we can make it more subtle. We'll go like this, and that line can just be the most subtle little thing. It doesn't have to be a big obvious change. Now it's got kind of small, like a crease, but let's see. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I like the way that looks. Now we have our smile, and this is how we can accomplish what I would just call a more natural looking whole face smile. Noses, when they smile, the nostrils flare, so we can increase that expression gradually just by taking this nostril. Let's try it. Let's see if we can take this nostril out and up. Nostrils go out and up, just like the corners of the mouth. So I'm just taking that color here. Let's get a little bit of the lighter color, like from here.
Even on the antidepressant.
Like this. Okay. And go like this. All right. Just so you know, I can hear your conversation, so don't cuss. All right. Now, see how I pulled the nostril up? It flaring the nostril makes the muscles pull harder, which modifies the expression. This isn't the right way to do it. It's just understanding what the parts do. So you may or may not do that for the expression. Okay, so when that pulls, these shadows start to come down and meet close to that nostril. Watch. See, I can bring this down. I'm pulling that, or this highlight comes down and starts to come close to here as that muscle pulls up. So as the smile gets more extreme, we can pull that highlight down closer to the nostril. There, see how I pulled it closer to the nostril there? All right. Now you can see, now it kind of looks like he's smelling something. So the flare of the nostril, it's like, I smell something. So that's a dial that you can turn. But in this case, you already had it done well enough. That was just an experiment. So I'm going to hit the undo button and get the nostril back to where you had it. Oh.
Wait, saving this, right? Is this
well, the video is going to be saved. I'll just cut out this part of the video and send it to you. Okay.
So
do you want me to go back? You want me to go back to the way it was? Did you like that better?
No.
Okay.
I want to be able to correct it. And does the mouth look okay? Like, so I always feel like a smile is kind of going up. I just want you to know, I'm going to take a serious drawing class because I'm tired of being in this trouble all the time with faces.
Yeah, well, you did a great job. So I'm giving you the components of this. You know, these are very reliable components that you can manipulate on every face, and they'll work. Okay, so the moving the nostril was an experiment. It's something that happens I'm gonna see if I can show my face right now. Let's see. I'm gonna show your video for a second. Actually, better yet, what we can do is watch this. Big smile. We'll just look at Google Images. We'll just hit the images, do a big smile. And so what I want to look at is the flare of the nostrils is a huge important part of it. So this face here, see how the nostrils are up and out, and see how this line goes a lot more sideways before it goes down. Big downward turn on a big smile. So and then we can even look at this highlight. See how this highlight, that light color continues over above the nostril. See that? See how it's lighter there? So these are very reliable methods, components. It's not just to your picture. So you can remember this process and have control while you're manipulating that expression. Now you asked about the mouth. I just want to point out that this mouth is very level across. This mouth doesn't have a big smile shape. It's probably the same layout as far as the angle of the mouth as when she's serious. This character, when she's serious, probably the mouth is just not stretched wide. What happens is it gets stretched wide. So on your mouth, you had the mouth, you had it smiling at the line that divides the upper and lower lip. But we don't need to do that for a smile. For a smile, we only need to stretch it wide and then adjust cheeks and nostrils. That's it.
Okay.
So you did a great job with the mouth. Your lighting, your shadows, everything looked great. But you can just use the same angles that make the character of that mouth. Some people have a natural smile or frown to that shape, but it doesn't change a lot when the person smiles. The angles, it just stretches wider. That's all. So I'm going to take the color of this here, and we're going to make the second shadow. We're going to make the other cheek right here, and just the essence of it will be enough. There we go. That little dot. I'm satisfied with that. I like the way that looks. Now, if it looks more like a sniff than a smile, then probably we just have, we adjust the angle to be more out than up. If we go too far up and not enough out, so if we go back to these are like, think of them as dials to turn. They're parameters that can be turned. So if this person, if I did these nostrils, I'd experiment with pulling them outward and a little upward. If I went too far upward but not enough outward, it would look like something smells bad, or a snarl, maybe like a snarl. If I went too far outward but not upward, then maybe it looks like she's starting to cry. She's on the verge of starting to cry. Different expressions, but the point is not memorize exactly what's what. It's understand that this is a parameter that you can dial in, and you can see the emotion change as you work with the shape of the cheek highlight and the flare in direction of the nostrils. That's it. It's all in the cheeks. That's the main point. Okay, so what do you think about this so far? Let me get your feedback on this. What would you do to the expression if you were wanting to change it as we see it right now?
Well, I think it looks better when I see it looks, I don't know, it just looks better. Like I had the mouth too small, but I got, I made those changes you recommended before, and then I get nervous because it's Jesus,
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Exactly.
you don't want to do injustice to the King
I
of
know.
Kings here, right?
Yeah. And I actually thought about
Yeah.
doing it all over, just starting a whole nother painting and letting it go. But
No, I would not do that. I would not do that. The difference between a really weird looking face and a perfect looking face is tiny stuff. It's tiny stuff. So I just extended the width of the mouth, and I just want you to see how that increases the smile effect, because the mustache is attached to the cheeks. When that goes out, the cheeks go out. It makes it smile. So let me hit the undo button. Watch the expression change. Okay. All right. Mustache in. Now we're going to redo it. Mustache out. Look at that subtle difference on the smile. Okay. So those are the dials that you can turn to manipulate that expression. And you can do it with confidence. I promise you it won't go wrong. It won't go wrong for you. You can go back and rewatch the video if you're forgetting exactly what they were, but I'm not giving you wrong information.
Yeah, right. I know. So yeah. Now, the other thing is, I like the eyeballs, that they look really magical and bright, but they're all still a little cartoony. And
I'll give you a tip. Let me give you a tip on the eyeballs. Do you want me to?
Sure.
Okay. See, this is the privilege you get when you fill in for Ben and become the new host. Okay. And, you're not the only person in the inbox that has a question on eyes, so this is a good subject. Okay, the typical ratio of an adult's eyes, let me see what color of circle I got, is that we can fit 4 of these 4 irises in between the 2. So let's give it a shot and see if we can. We got 1, 2, 3. So this is infant proportion. So you said it looks kind of cartoon. Well, this is the same eye distance that you would have on a baby. So it doesn't mean that the eyes themselves are not the entire eye. All we have to do is shrink down the iris a tiny bit, and it'll probably make a huge difference. Let's try it.
Okay.
Let's take this. Okay, I'm going to use this gray color. I'm going to really zoom in on this way into the pixels, because this isn't a super fine detail machine. Okay, I sliced off a little bit of the color on that side, and now I'll slice off a little bit of the color on this side so that it's looking the same direction. I'm going to go on both sides, and let me get some of the white of the eyes and make sure that we get that in the place you had it, so we don't destroy the I think that side was more shadowed. Maybe there we go. Let's put that in there. Okay, let's zoom out. All right, now let's do it to the other eye. See what happens. We're going to take the white of the eye. We're going to squeeze that in. A little bit goes a long way. You can see that I'm not really cutting off much. It's not like a huge adjustment to your picture. So I'll manipulate eyes for quite a while when I'm painting to find that right size, or well, that's the wrong way to say it. It's not finding the right size, it's getting the right positioning of it. I'll really mess with that for a while, because my point is that tiny changes make big visible differences when it comes to these circles. We judge a lot by the layout of these circles. Okay, we're going to zoom out. All right, is that looking any different? What's your opinion? What do you think? I'm not just going to inject my opinion. I'm going to rely on yours some.
Yeah, it does look different. Yeah, I guess it looks
a
better.
little bit different, right? Okay, now the cartoony look might also be because of just how white the eyes are. So let's darken those a little bit. We're going to take the shadow color that you've got. Let's take that. And let's color more of the eye right here. A lot of it. We're not going to do so much white. The whites of eyes in an actual picture is not very white. It actually can be quite a gray color that represents a white. So sometimes when the white's overdone, it gives them a cartoony-like glow. And that might be something that you're picking up that's not feeling quite right too. There. I darkened them. And another thing that does is it makes them sink deeper. The darker we make the eyes all together, like the entirety of the eye, the more they sink deeper. Now I'm going to get even darker with that color. Let's take it down a notch. And now I'm going to put a shadow under the eyelid. I'm going to darken them even further. We'll leave a little bit of light on the underside so we can shadow the whites of eyes just like we do a spear, but we only do this little portion, that is visible. So we're putting a shadow. I'm gradually darkening them. They could, I might go too far with it. There we go. They're darkened even more. But they have that little bit of gradient where it does have a lighter area.
Okay, yeah.
They're starting to relax. They're starting to look a little more relaxed, right? A little bit more natural, relaxed eye. So I still could even shrink the irises more, because now they've probably got like 3.5 in between. And so if we were to shrink those even more, we could go like this. Let me see if I can get my little, maybe I can just smear the colors out of the way so that I don't have to keep swatching new colors. I'm going to pull this in. We're going to pull in this color. Everybody wants to do better looking faces, right? Even I do. I'm even always looking for ways to make a face look more spot on. And so, or more exactly like, I want control of the element. When I want a happy face, it's frustrating and it comes out with some other expression. So I'm going to take these eyes and make them a little further apart now with the eyelids. So we're going to go like this. We'll use this color and we're going to just slice off a little bit of the corner of that eye, just a little, because we're going to make them further apart. Okay, we're going to do that. And I'll send you this picture when it's done. Okay, now I'm going to swatch this color. That is your shadow. You had a good shadow color in there. Kind of a reddish under eye shadow color. Let's use that one and go like this. You don't want to be without that shadow. It looks weird if the eyes don't have that shadow in there. Okay, so I took that eye and I just put it a little further apart by slicing off that corner a tiny bit. I'll blur it a little bit with this blender tool too.
Yeah, that looks better. So
okay, good.
Yeah,
I'm going to blend it so that it goes. Remember, shadows are your 3D tool. So you're making something go deeper into the face when you put a shadow on it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to blend this one. I'm going to take that blender tool and just pull this eyelid down. And my goal is just to relocate it a little bit. We're just trying to relocate this eye. Just bring the corner over a little like this. Nice job on the details of the eye, by the way. Okay, now we're going to get this darker color of the eye. Let me find, I kind of like that color. Let's use that one. And we'll go Well, we got to go darker. Let's go a little bit darker, make the line size smaller. Okay. There we go. Whoops, my shaky hands. Okay, we're going to go like this, make the corner of the eye in here. There we go. And just forgive the messy strokes. Okay, now the eyes are further apart and we're just striving to get more adult-like proportions to those eyes. That's the goal. What do you think?
Yeah.
Let me think. And then here's a shadow that you'll always see. This might be helpful too. We take this, I'm going to blend this shadow in. I really should stop. We don't want to just keep going and going, but this shadow is real common. It hooks around the corner of the eye, comes down a little bit onto the cheek with a very subtle gradient. That can really help the three-dimensional form of the face.
Now the noses look more, the nose is coming out more too.
Yeah, it tends to be the deepest part on a face. All faces are not the same, but there are some very distinct repeating patterns that we can use, and this is one of them. So I can take that shadow and just wrap it down. It's just a shadow that wraps down and gets lighter, lighter, lighter. I'm having a hard time. I bet I could change my. Nope, I can't do it. Not in this version of the app. I was trying to change the amount that this blends, but no problem. I'm gonna just make this get a little bit lighter as it goes down. There, it's a bit much at the moment because I just went too dark on it, but I just want to show the shape of the shadow. The shape of the shadow is what we're after here. Let's lighten it.
Yeah, it looks more deep set.
There we go. Yeah, which is you can study different ethnicities. If he was Asian, then we would definitely not want that deep set. It would be wrong for the ethnicity. If it's European, then it's going to look, if your character, I'm not saying Jesus is European, if we wanted that look, so it's up to you, your character, but these are variables that have a big influence. I felt like I shortened that eye a bit too much, so I'm going to bring it back over, bring the corner in like that. There we go. Okay, so I'm just gradually manipulating those. That's something that you can use to make the eyes go deeper and feel more ordinary adult-like proportions.
Okay. Yeah, I see. That looks good.
Yeah. So yours doesn't have to look like mine. Your result doesn't have to look like mine. Those are just the variables to manipulate, right?
Yeah.
You can do that. All right, I'll stop there. I'm going to put finishing touches on this picture and then we'll finish the stream. Do you have a view of the comments on there?
I do. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Yeah. You're welcome. I'll make sure that I send that to you for reference.
I put comments about your painting that you're doing that my brothers, when I guess we were 10 or so, we would go on these adventures into the forest or wherever they found these little places. We grew up in the city, but they found little places of nature on their adventures, and then they would take me on their adventures. And
that's cool.
This painting reminds me of it
actually resembles something, huh?
We're going on this adventure. I don't know where I'm going, and I can't even imagine where we're going, but we're going someplace cool.
Okay, nice. That's good.
Anyway.
So it successfully has that feeling of adventure. I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah.
That's good. That's something that I always hope to have in a picture is that feeling of what's it like to go there.
Yeah.
I always want that.
So brave because they would. One time I had to cross a log, over a little stream. It was nothing, but to me it was I was so frightened. And they're on the side.
And this is when you were younger, right? You were pretty little.
Yeah, it was 10 or something.
Yeah, right. It's a big world big world for a 10-year-old girl, right?
Yeah, and I'm I can't. I'm gonna fall. And they're like, no, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it.
You can do it. Come on.
It really helped my life.
Okay, cool. That's neat. And these were older brothers. Is that what you said?
One older, one younger.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
older and a younger. That sounds like a good time. I never had a sister. I have 4 brothers, no sisters. So we always were pushing each other to do those adventurous things, but we didn't have I feel like a sister is a voice of reason a lot of the time in that time of life, because boys are like driven by chemistry to do daring things, right?
Yeah.
You know, and a girl who's not driven by that, you know, like when did you ever see a girl randomly jump up to smack the top of a door jamb as they walk down the hallway of a school? It's not a thing, you know. It's the boys that do that, or like bang on stuff as they walk, just banging on stuff. It's a boy behavior, right? And so you're driven by chemicals to do that. You know, you don't really understand, but a girl can be such a voice of reason when you're in that time of life, because she's not like controlled by those impulses. So it'd be fun, you know, to relive life with the sister. I'm curious how it might have gone.
Yeah. Well, so they would always come to me with their problems about each other. You know, when they were in a fight, they loved each other to death. But then when they were having their little problems,
okay.
I were the ears that listened. And all I had to say was, every time it worked like magic. Gee, I don't know why they would act like that or do that, like, because they loved you so much. Problem solved.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
But my brother, they would just start like wrestling, like they would be sitting on the sofa. All of a sudden, a second later, they're jumping over the coffee table and wrestling. Of course, parents weren't around to see that happen, but I was, you know, and I'm like, oh God,
what is going on? Yeah. Well, we wrestled a lot. We were, you know, we did, it was friendly. I don't know if you're just
friendly. Yeah. It's friendly.
Yeah, we always did that kind of stuff growing up. We were pretty rowdy kids, but we went over the top. We did really bad, not really, you know, naughty maybe is the word. We were breaking windows, damaging property. So I really, you know, I'm not proud of it. Not proud of those. I don't talk about it like it was just the life to live or anything. It's just the way it was.
You just, boys do crazy stuff.
Yeah. And you know, the truth is I have some regrets from that lack of reservation, that lack of thinking through what effect is this going to have. There are some regrets. I don't mean that with any dramatic tone or anything. You know, everybody's got stuff they'd take back if they could, I think. But, you know, the voice of reason, a friend that is the voice of reason, is such a nice thing to have around.
Yeah.
Hey, I never answered the why about why this reflection is so brown, even though it doesn't match the source color. It's because reflection of shadows expose the underwater color. So it's not the same ratio of mixing. If you mix a bright color and we do a reflection of that, for example, I have all this yellow, I need to adjust that reflection. And in that reflection here is going to be very much like the source color at this angle, because this is far away on the water. So I'm predicting a lot of reflection. So I'm going to use that, and I'm going to use black and white to come down where there's less, not blue, because black and white, yellow on blue makes gray. So I'm just going to make gray with my paint, and it'll look like reflection of that yellow on this blue water. Bluer water. This water's bluer over here to the right. I made it deeper and bluer. Okay, so we're going to make it lighter and yellower as it goes further away, because the angle is more parallel to my line of vision, and I'm keeping the edges sharp to maintain my glassy effect. So we'll go like this. So my ratio of reflection color to watercolor is a lot more in favor of the reflection. There's a lot of reflection in there because I'm reflecting a light. But if I reflect a shadow, then it's the opposite. The underwater color wins, you know, in the mix. It gets more. So when I'm reflecting a shadow, I don't take all this blue and put it in that reflection. If it was way, way out on the horizon, I probably would see a lot of that in there. But here, because the angle would be like a mirror. Then it becomes more like a mirror when the angle is so flat. But if you just look at photos of reflections and then specifically look for the reflection of the shadow, then you'll see this pattern that the shadows take on the color of the underwater, while the highlights have more dominance in the mix. They have or are more weighted. There we go. There, now we got that gradient in there making that reflection. So this makes for a very lifelike reflection if you understand that the shadows bring out the underwater color. Just a tip. All right, I'm done going on and on about that. I think our live stream's about over.
Yeah. Courtney says Joe preaches and teaches, and Leanne Triple says
Preaches and teaches.
preaches and teaches. Yeah, it's awesome. And then Leanne says a light reflection versus a shadowing reflection.
That's it. That's a good way to say that. Yeah. Yeah, right. It's hard to describe. Like, what are we looking at when you see the reflection of a shadow? It almost feels wrong to call it reflection because it's more like it's blocking light from reflecting. You know, like we have this bright light literally bouncing off the water. We think of that as a reflection, but these dark shadows, me, it's more intuitive to think of it as blocking the reflection of the light, like blocking reflection. But for some, it might be more intuitive just to call it a reflection of a dark color. Whatever you call it, that color pattern works.
Yeah, that makes more sense. I always think I have to do the like same color as the sky on the water, and then it doesn't look right. And I want to thank Courtney. She's saying, Gina, you can fix it. Something on your mic. Oh, my mic.
It sounds good to me. I'm hearing it on my end. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Can you fix it on your mic?
Yeah. Oh, it sounds really good. Your audio sounds great on my end, so I think you're good. Maybe there was something going on earlier. I don't know, but sounds good.
Oh, it looks okay on YouTube.
Yeah, it's good. I hear your audio. If it's coming through to me, then it's coming through on the stream.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
all right.
Joe, people were enjoying the, your feedback on my painting, and
good. I'm glad to hear that.
I can go back in.
Well,
I love mixed colors, and I've tried your way, but maybe not enough, like 4 times, and then I'm like, it gets frustrating because it, I don't know. I might try painting because you use so many great colors, because I don't mix colors the same way. I want to, but I have to learn it,
Yeah. Yeah, right. It's very frustrating when you're in the middle of a painting. The faces, we have like a ton of information that's just automated. Our perception of it is automatic. It's not consciously thought through. So it's very frustrating when you're just wrestling with that. And every tiny stroke seems to do a weird thing to it, and you don't. So my point is, we have to ask the question, what is the variable that makes this expression? That's the magic question. It's easy to assume that there's not clear answers to that, and that it's all just ambiguous, subtle perception, but it's not. That's not the case. There's very distinct components to every expression, and every expression is a recipe that you can consciously put together and manipulate. I'm not saying that there's not nuance and magic and that you can't see something just in someone's eyes, but when we find great success in mastering those manipulations, if we learn the patterns that make those. All right, I think I've talked enough. I called you Courtney just now. I almost called you Courtney. Courtney, thank you for volunteering. I really appreciate it. And Gina, thank you so much for filling in for Ben.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to call it a day here. Am I missing anything? Any final thoughts? Are we good? Good on your end, Gina?
I just want to say thank you. And everybody's having fun here. And yeah.
All right, nice.
Thank you, bro.
I appreciate it. All right, we'll see you, Gina. Thank you.
Right, bye-bye.